So when was it that you kind of first thought to yourself, I see the internet and I want to be a creator?
Okay. Do you want to kind of fill in the gaps as I think about mine? Because I want to lock. That's a big question. I want to lock in.
Sure.
Do you know yours already?
So what made me want to be a creator?
Loop back.
I guess I can answer the question first. What really made me want to be a creator was basically being able to see someone that I personally went to school with, that I was around, that I knew in real life, actually go on and pop off and be basically a creator like you see on the internet, like any other large influencer, basically. So I saw firsthand that this kind of thing was possible. It was possible from people that were in the circles that I was in, live in the places that I live in, and have access to the resources I have. I didn't really know what he had access to, but I'm sure now, thinking back on it, he probably had a lot. But his name was Delano Brown, right? So he was an artist. I went to middle school with him, actually middle school and high school for a little bit.
Okay.
He ended up going to a different school after a while, so I never really talked to him or we're not homies or whatever, right? But it was personal to me, right? Because I knew him. This is very early on Instagram, and basically he started making these roses, started making this art apparel brand, and started selling shirts, hats, jackets, clothes, all this stuff, right? And all of a sudden I see him making shoes. I see Kanye West has one of these things on. I see him giving stuff to Chris Brown. He was just doing all this stuff, right? I have no idea how he did it, how he did any of this stuff, or how he got this following. But so when I saw him doing all this stuff, right, I realized again that I could do this kind of thing. I saw what he was doing as an artist, and I looked at it and I said, wow, if he can do all this and have this kind of success off of doing that, right? Which is in itself, obviously you got to come up with the idea, right? Everybody thinks something's easy in hindsight, right? Before anybody ever did it though, nobody thought to do it, right? So it wasn't that easy, right? So I give him his credit for creating what he did and making his style and doing his own thing. But I candidly felt like it was something that I could personally have done in 20 minutes. I could have done what he was doing, right? So I was like, why can't I come up with my own thing and try to figure out how to do what he's doing, right?
It was almost not necessarily a challenge, but
not a challenge at all. It was just
yourself
I can't do what he's doing, right? I can't be him. I can't take what he does.
You can put your own
but
spin on it.
I can try to make my own spin on it, and then eventually I created my own entire whole thing, basically. So it had nothing to do with anything he did anymore. Gotcha. But he was definitely one of the biggest influences that got me into it. Him and a couple of other OG artists, sneaker artists, I saw making shoes for LeBron James, a guy named Dan Gamache, a couple other guys that I just thought were making amazing artwork or doing amazing stuff, and I just thought that this is something I want to get into. This is what I want to learn. This is how I want to make my mark, and this is what I want to do.
I feel that. Okay, I can.
At least content-wise. It's the first time I ever thought about content.
No, I'm glad you said that because I can put my own spin on that as well for how it was for me. So mine had sparked from vlogging. I watched Roman Atwood and FouseyTube growing up all the time.
What you said?
Hey, current day Fousey is not the T stays green. The lot, old school Fousey was what I watched.
And Fousey's dead.
Okay.
According to Fousey.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. And Stuart Edge is another one. And so and Loft, I don't know, just old school big dolls. Vine was out, but people were doing short form pranks and long form pranks on YouTube. And vlogs, sorry. And so I'd watch Roman mostly, a little bit of Fousey. And I remember the exact day, similar mindset. It's I think I can do this, but I don't want to copy them verbatim. And
now hold on real quick. I just want to cut in before you don't lose your train of thought.
Yeah, I got it.
But just for the people that don't know, right? Like me, right? I would never was really on Vine like that, right? I know a couple of the big names, King Bash, a couple of the other guys. Yeah. But obviously Logan Paul, whoever. I know some of the heavy hitters, but I don't know every individual creator. So for somebody who doesn't know who that is, right? What were the two examples you just gave? What kind of content do they make?
Okay, so I guess let me correct it before I get clowned in the comments. Roman and Fousey were YouTubers.
Okay.
But I think similar to modern day, TikTok, you'll see compilations, you'll see the short form content reproduced and utilized to be put on other platforms. They were definitely YouTubers, but I bumped into their content on Vine.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
I can't claim them as Viners, but that's kind of where it started.
So they evolved from Vine to the next.
That's where you found them.
They may have never even actually been on it. It's just I was using Vine as my platform to digest content, and YouTube
I
was
got
where
you.
they're at. But I saw it on Vine, and the little skits and stuff. You mentioned your Logans and stuff. I think Vine was more my love for skits, whereas YouTube was more my love for vlogs and pranks. And I wanted to encompass the three. So I remember the day I was in. I had a camera at 12 years old and had a YouTube channel. There's a video of me chewing gum at 7 years old on YouTube, and it's literally called Webcam with the date and everything, the pre-title.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I have the old videos,
real OG.
but
real OG.
The real start of I'm gonna do this for real. I was a junior in high school, and I have the footage, and I will never release it maybe. I have
100,000 views in her release.
100,000. Yeah, there is footage, and I remember I had a camera for school. It was in videography class. I took it into my closet. I had just finished watching a Roman Atwood video, and he was like doing like a little speech about just go do it, just do it. And I picked up my camera. I walked into my closet and I filmed a where I want to be in life video. Like before this, I knew I wanted to do content. I think I was doing Vines, but like I was like I guess 15 years old, and I did this whole thing about like. This is the day I start, because like you can sit there and say it in your head all day, but I was like, if I film it, it'll give me something to like I called myself out, like, you have to do this. I just filmed it. Next day, took my camera to school. I was a junior, started vlogging. The weirdest thing ever. Like, all your friends you grew up with.
Man, I wish I had thought about doing that back then, bro.
But
I wish I had knew to take it serious back then, I should say.
But, like, at the same time, like, everybody you went to school with is looking at you, and it's, like, those early stages.
Like, oh, there's that kid.
Like, why is he filming math class? Like, I'm the kid talking to myself in the hallways. Like, my senior quote had to do with vlogging. There's pictures of me in the yearbook walking around. I always had a camera. I was Matt Vlogs before Vine.
Oh, so you was that guy. You were the video guy. Everyone thought you was
like... But to 10 subscribers. Like, it was...
I respect that. Everyone thought you was like, oh, man.
That's legit. That's legit.
And I had, like...
Were you the school's videographer? Were you part of the video school?
Nah, because it was... I wasn't, like, production... Like, that's how it's... I was in, like, videography, but... It started by me literally just wanting to film myself. Like, my first few videos was, like, in Ocean City during senior week. Like, vlogging every day. Eventually...
Man, I remember Ocean City on the senior. I went to a couple of them senior weeks.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, absolutely. And so that never took off. That was never, like, I went by Matt Vlogs as a joke, but that never took off. Like, Vine is where it's set in stone. But my first attempt was because of, like, Roman and all them, watching them vlog. Now they also did pranks. And it took about 150 vlogs that... maybe 5 people watched to get me the confidence to film my first prank. And I bumped into a guy in the harbor, at the harbor. And he was filming a prank video. Like, I was vlogging and he had a camera. And I was like, is this guy, like, filming a prank? Like, I've seen this on YouTube before, like the college campuses, like hidden mic shows. But I was like, never witnessed it in real life. Is this guy filming a prank video in Baltimore? Walked up to him, introduced myself. I'm vlogging, he's pranking. Dude had just started his YouTube channel that day. It's this guy, Frenchie. He goes by Frenchie, his name's Patrick, Canadian guy. And he's like, just taking a stab in the dark. He was like doing some video about asking people if they had seen his pet tiger. Video never saw the day of light. Just a dumb video, like, you have all these ideas you want to do for prank videos. 90% of the footage is unusable, didn't work, wasn't funny. And it was just so happened to be like one of my first months vlogging, his first day pranking. We linked up, and a week later went to Towson and filmed our first prank video together. And it was like ask people to help us finish our homework. We went to the harbor and filmed videos of us roller skating into each other, crashing, and like being all dramatic. And like that's what started the prank videos. So it went from Roman and Fusi vlogs to they also did pranks. Every time I say Fusi, if you're watching this, you were my inspiration up until about 4 years ago. But I love it. And then, the prank videos, like, all just college campus style, hidden mics, and that built up the confidence to, like, continue doing it. And then after the Vine took off, I just decided to pick the one that the best, which was Vine. But, yeah, that's kind of what got my start, yeah.
That's what's up. Brent, what got you going?
I would say since I was a wee bit tyke, when I was just a young boy and I would trace anime characters.
Wait, let's back up a little bit.
Wee young boy.
What was that word you used?
Bit tyke.
Yeah, wee bit tyke.
Let's try that one again.
Like a little tyke.
Yeah.
Lore tyke.
But like, you know, I guess like let me see, like a wee old whatever. Anyway,
the point
hold on. Being is I started when I was a child, I guess like 8, tracing Dragon Ball. At least I was drawing then.
And that's how I started too.
Yeah, right. It starts from there. So then I then picked up the love of music around middle school. Talked to my first teacher, Mr. Towns. He gave me a baritone. I hated it. It was ugly. It was hideous. It was all big and cumbersome, all goofy looking and shit. And then after that, I started trying to make music, make beats and stuff like that. It was going pretty good. It was a startup like any other thing in high school. Just trying to, make music. And then none of my stuff ever got like put out, but like, my friend who still does it, he'll be on in a future episode. But one of my friends, he's definitely like I guess up there in production, he's definitely had a couple major features and a couple things, Joe Biden and so on and so forth. So, but
Joe Budden?
Huh?
I thought you said Joe Biden. Like,
No,
I thought
Joe
you just
Biden.
threw Biden's name.
no, I don't know. Joe Biden got the
yeah.
album coming out. You know what I'm saying?
I was like, what?
Wait for it,
Biden
guys.
got to pump it up too. You know what I'm saying?
Stop it.
He got to pump it up too.
Music 16, nigga. What you want?
So you started making music?
Oh yeah, I was making music for a little bit. So then after the music, I saw a combo video, or it was an evolution moment in fighting games, and I saw somebody like do this crazy sequence of parrying, like he was parrying stuff, and then it was crazy.
What's the Evo moment? What's Evo?
So an Evo is pretty much a tournament for fighting games where all, let's say, the best of the world come out to compete in video games to earn a prize, depending on how many people enter, as well as how big their sponsor, and as well as cut. But anyway, and then it can lead to more like sponsorships. You know, gaming's become like a real business now.
Yeah. Like esports.
Yeah. So pretty much what happened after that, I then went to art school. So I had a little stint in that, but then I went to art school and went for a digital art for AI Art Institute, which everybody know. They scammed everybody out their money, but
You went to an AI school? What is the AI school?
It's called Art Institute of York, Pennsylvania.
Art Institute. Okay.
AI.
So not actual. Okay.
Yeah,
okay. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, we're doing AI before AI was popping.
Yo, that's what I thought too. You guys just learning how to put prompts.
I thought maybe you were like learning like how to program like AI or do some shit like that. I don't know.
Nah.
Is it a scam?
Huh?
You think college is a scam or your institute?
It's the institute I was in was a scam. They did a whole bunch of shady stuff, but let's say I got paid back all my student loan money.
Oh, for real? So you got the knowledge. Did you actually learn though?
Yeah, no, I learned a lot of digital stuff. I mean, of course, some of my
the class
etiquette.
action.
Hold on, not to cut you off though, but that's a good topic. Is college a scam?
Oh, that can be next.
All right, we'll wait on that.
We'll talk about that.
We'll save on that. That's coming up. That's coming up. All right, but right back to you. All right, so you were in AI school.
Yeah, I was in artificial intelligence school, and pretty much I was in digital art. So pretty much I was learning all sorts of old art, new art, how to do Photoshop, all that stuff before it became like popping, like before it became popular, before everyone could just do it. Because apparently in art school, I didn't realize you have to come in with a plan. You can't just go and think you're going to figure something out. All the people that I saw who were successful already had something that they wanted to do.
Like
in mind.
after the school, like career wise?
Yeah, like they already had a website they wanted to do, or they already know what they were trying to do. They already knew they was trying to create. So every project they did, it was towards their end goal. Versus like people like myself, I just went to go kick shit,
Get the experience, figure it out.
So to say, party, I just went there trying to do it, but I wanted to open my own art studio self. Not necessarily me, drawing everything, but at least giving the space like we're in.
So you had a plan, but like you hadn't built out a foundation
for
it yet.
No foundation, had a plan, So then I went from there to, I guess, Tufton Rugs now. I mean, like, little rugs.
Which is art.
It is art.
You're staying in the industry.
Yeah. So I guess my ADHD is taking me all over the art avenue and every aspect of
which is good, I think.
Yeah.
Working in the I consider art. I mean, should I say entertainment industry or like it's in?
It depends on what kind of art it is.
Industry is art.
It's not all entertainment. Not all art is made to be viewed as it's being made. But yeah.
But I feel like arts and entertainment can just kind of like correlate, like they're closely related. It's not a typical 9
for sure,
to 5 per se.
Yeah, of course.
So like staying in that genre and like
it's definitely still a creative field.
It's like I don't know, maybe I can relate, like going from social media creator to management. It's still in the industry, but it's like a different avenue than I expected.
Right.
Yeah.
See, like I knew I could draw. I was learning this stuff, but I was like, man, for what I want, this should take too long. So I'll just be the boss, and I'll just hire a bunch of people.
You still trying to open an art studio?
I mean, it would be with this guy if we were to do something. So,
so your college obviously was some sort of a
Legitimately.
scam. Now, the college I went to wasn't a scam per se. It's a real school. It's a good school,
right.
But just wasn't necessary for the things that I wanted to do. And if you have a skill or a trade, I feel like college is a waste of time for you.
Well,
to be
I
honest,
think today's now
you'd be much better
age,
learning on the job. I feel like
I would say today's age is not needed only for the simple fact is that there's so many people, young guys, who've shown us you can make money now.
See, now the only thing I'll say,
Jack Dorothy's and the stuff like that, like
Jack.
yeah.
They might
your
have
example?
potentially.
That's a crazy example. You can't get mad at me for Fousey if you just use Jack.
It's because I watch other YouTubers and he's like hot topic right now.
He crashed his.
Nah, he was way past that. Nah, his
But
friend broke up.
I will say that you have to be still somewhat strategic.
Just happened yesterday.
You have to be still somewhat strategic with what avenue you go down if you're going to be an artist or something like that in a creative field or anything without a college
Creative
degree.
field. That's
You
better
you
than
for sure,
anything.
like you said, you for sure, if you're not going to get a degree, you for sure need to have some kind of idea on what it is that you're going to want. You have to have some kind of
Exactly.
plan on where you're going and how you're going to get there. But two, you also need to have obviously some innate skill. You need to have a business, some kind of form or fashion, how you know you're going to convert this thing into money, whatever it is
Right.
that you're going to do. How are you going to make money doing this? And can you do this for the rest of your life, basically, is what you need to think about.
It's so
because
much easier now.
if you're not going to do it for the rest of your life, you're going to spend a lot of time making a business that's not going to go anywhere or you're not going to get anything from. You really have to have that dedication for it, especially if you're in a creative field of imagining this is all you're going to do.
I mean,
so how are you going to do that? And can you really make a living doing that
That's the
before
part,
you
though.
make those decisions?
Did
the
you go to
money
school
part.
before you? Did you?
Yeah, and I'll jump into that for a minute, but
Go
like, I wanted to just point out because you keep saying, and that's the I guess the harsh reality of it is college a scam based off of can you make a living financially? Like if that keeps being where the conversation shifted is financially can you survive financially?
2%.
But if you took that aspect out of it, then I would say, I don't know, it would just like every time that we're talking about is college a scam, it's gonna, are you in a field that is like sets you up financially to be successful, wealthy, regardless of what you're doing. But with us, it's a little different because like we're following a different route, like not on the field working like typical 9 to 5. It's like there's a lot of people in our field that
Feet on the
It's a lot
street.
more risk. It's a lot more risk. It's a lot more
high
reward.
risk, high reward. Yeah.
It's a high risk, high
So,
reward,
I
but
don't
it's
know.
definitely a lot of risk.
Like I didn't look at it as I didn't start a YouTube channel at 12 years old because I wanted to, make a check from it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It was
But-
not even the first.
Not
thing
even the
in your
thought,
head.
right? And I think it's the difference because like the people that do that are not. I think they set themselves up for failure if you're going into it starting with the financial aspect in the creative arts field, but eventually you grow up and have to figure that part out, and you just hope that you've done enough of the work beforehand to make that work. And I think we're gonna put ourselves in a position starting so young that we were able to progress through it to where by the time we needed to make money from it, we kind of had an idea of, okay, I can do this for work and this for fun, versus if like today we all had 0 followers and we're like, let's start an Instagram right now and become rich and famous and pay rent by the 31st. It's not feasible, right?
No.
Isn't that what we're doing now?
No, but
Welcome to the podcast.
no, but definitely. I mean, I think it's a healthy in between of that. I look at that like a healthy in between, right? Because when I started YouTube, that's definitely what I thought about. I thought about, I see this guy out here doing what he's doing. I could do the same thing. I can make some art or do whatever it is, and there's no reason that my videos shouldn't do the same amount of views that his videos do because I feel like my stuff is just as good as his. That's how I went into it, right? So I was like, when I put this up, I fully expected to get views for this, and I expected to do whatever this was, right?
You're just a different guy.
I expected it because I put the work. I went to the Facebook groups first. I dabbled my toe into it. I showcased the product first. I made sure people could see the stuff, could look at it. So once I started making videos, I had already done 40 or 50K on Instagram. I had already done stuff like this where I was like, I know people like this stuff. I just need to know how to present this, how to package this. How do you showcase what it is that I do in a way that will actually earn me money in a consistent fashion? Where now every single art piece that I make, I can make a money on every single month rather than just that one time that somebody paid me to do it, right? So I went with a specific point in mind, but I also knew that there's people that do this for a living. They're famous, they're rich, they're doing whatever. There's no reason I shouldn't have that as the goal.
Yeah,
you know.
that's more. I think also like maybe
It's the drive, too.
that's like doing what you want, what you love in life. Part of it's gonna have to be being able to pay the bills doing it.
Of course.
But like I think maybe backtrack to when you were younger. Like you said, you already had like 40, 50K or something when you started making videos with the intention of the money, and in the views.
Yes, for sure.
Before that,
I did start it obviously long before I had it. You're right. I did start without
at 12
expecting
years
money.
old, right?
See, but you came in an era where you could do that. The era I grew up in, it wasn't like that. It
There
was
wasn't a YouTube monetization.
yeah, it wasn't. It was
Without the
get your
internet,
ass-
I don't
it
know
was
what I would have.
Not even websites. It was take your ass to school and take your ass to go work for the rest of your life and
That's
pay the
fair.
damn debt.
That's fair, yeah,
And so again, it's not until your generation where we started saying, "Oh shit, you mean we can work for ourselves?" Just like when mumble rappers came out, they were like, "Oh shit, we don't need the industry." Like,
the
you get what I'm
SoundCloud
saying?
era.
Yeah, the SoundCloud era.
Yeah, now the TikTok era.
Right, so it's the same thing. Now all these
Right.
guys are breaking down doors. All these YouTubers,
It's
and
constantly
TikTokers.
changing.
Right, they're breaking down doors like fight promotion. No one, like the promoters earned everything. They set everything up. Now the content creators are starting to do that stuff, and it's not bringing a whole bunch of money in, but it's still being like you can circumvent this BS that they built. You get what I'm saying? Because everything is middleman sometimes, and we're
I
always
think
trying
that's
to
the
take them
end
out.
all goal for pretty much everybody that gets into content. It's basically thinking that you can circumvent the mouse on the wheel or whatever it is. Like you can get yourself out of that wheel and do your own thing, right?
you gotta
Like that's the
follow it
idea. Is you
first.
want to be your own boss, do your own thing, make your own hours, and make
Build
your own
your
money however
empire.
you want to do it, right? Build your empire. So like that's the goal for every creator. I feel like so it's really just how do you do that, right? So that brings us to the next topic, which is. Matt, I'll start with you, or at least you can start thinking about it if you need some time. Both of you.
I'm locked in.
What is your biggest risk, or what was your biggest creative risk on your content journey, and did it pay off?
I can tell you right now, I was going to art school. It was a big ass risk, a big ass debt. I got financially disbanded, so didn't even finish.
So do you think college is a scam?
Yes. Again, yes. It is a scam.
All right,
now.
so that's a yes. I'm gonna say I'm a 75% yes, right? Because I feel like that there are certain industries that certainly need to go to
Right.
college.
There we
that
go.
if my doctor didn't go to college, don't touch me, bro.
Don't touch me.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Exactly.
like there's certain jobs. I mean, if you are in a high
Healthcare position.
a high knowledgeable business or position, then you need to have had some kind of school or teaching for that, in addition to you learning on the job. But I feel like if you're going to be in the trades, if you're going to be an artist, if you're going to be a creative, you're going to be somebody like that doesn't work a set like, oh, I'm going to be the CEO of whatever this is, or I'm going to be some kind of doctor, or I'm going to have to cut into people or do something that people had to learn over centuries of time, right? Like something like that you can just pick up or you can watch somebody do. I feel like that there's almost nothing other than being like a doctor or something like that you can't learn on YouTube.
Right.
Like there's almost nothing at this point that you can't learn on your own if you really wanted to do
Yeah,
it.
I think my answer is iffy. Oh, sorry, I actually totally forgot to say I did go to college for about 3 weeks.
Only 3 weeks?
man.
Oh, you're gonna love this. So this.
Dang, so
Longer
wait-
than you, right?
No, I went for at least a year and a half.
No. I got a really solid answer.
Shout out to
So,
UMBC, baby.
Hey, mine was AACC, and I had just. Thank you. I had just had the success with the YouTube video, the bottle flip challenge, and I was like, I had already locked in going to college. Like I had just started, but at the same time, I'm getting these like calls about, oh, like I might have to ramp up my career faster than I expected. It didn't work out, don't worry. But in like early on, this was 2016. I went to college, and I don't know if my grandparents would have watched this, but they bought me a camera because I said I go to college, and I kind of used going to college as an excuse to get that $1,000 Lumix G7 so I could have a better.
That's a
vlog
nice camera.
for the YouTube. 3 weeks into school is when I was sitting there in videography class and business class, and I'm like, I can't go to a Vine shoot right now. It's a big deal. I can't go to a Vine shoot because I'm sitting in class learning about how to be how to make content. But I am missing out on opportunities to make content by sitting
That's
in
the
class.
trade-off.
So I was like very much, I left. I remember driving home from school, like walking out, didn't go to my next class, and that's when I like booked my flight to LA. I was like, I'm ready to get out of here. So I did literally 3 weeks of school. I don't know if my grandparents know this or not. Kept the camera, of course. And just left. Just go do it, hands on. So it wasn't a scam because I didn't pay for it. Sorry, granddad. But
I mean, it was a scam because you had opportunities already knocking down your door versus you being there to earn those opportunities.
I mean, that doesn't
It's
necessarily
niche.
make it a scam. That's your choice to go
It was-
anyway,
but
But
I think it was more like it was
There's other
very
aspects.
individualized to me. Like my friend sitting next to me in class, it may not have been a scam for him. And I wouldn't say scam. Like I think that had I stuck with it, maybe things would have changed. But I just realized like I can't sit in this class. I think that's kind of how we're all wired a bit differently. Like I can't sit in this class. I can't work this 9 to 5. I can't listen to people tell me about how to do this when I'm already doing it, and I just want to keep doing like very kinetic, hands-on. Like I literally left college to go do what they were teaching you how to do.
Well, here's the question. Do you think now, could you go back and maybe time management a little better where you could have taken those opportunities and still kept up with school?
Probably, but I was 17 and I
Right,
was just like,
right,
I don't want to
obviously.
go to school. And it worked out.
And honestly, I feel like that's one of those things that just being somebody who had to kind of live that route. Like, I feel like especially if you're going to be an artist or an actor or something like that, like you have to live that shit. Like you have to do it 100%, or that's just 80% of your time or 50% or 60% of your time that you're devoting to something
But
else,
that's
and
the
you're
problem.
not getting better at doing what you should be doing. You know,
It's the groundwork.
But that's why I say you have to have the cards have to line up, and you
Right.
have to do these checklists before you choose
You
to do
did
this
the
kind of thing.
groundwork.
Because you have to know you have that talent, you have that innate skill to back on, that you have something that's worth taking that risk for. If you don't have that, if you're just thinking, hey, I'd like to be on YouTube, I saw somebody doing it, but I don't know what I'm going to do. Fuck
I'm
it.
going to drop out of school. And,
Don't do that.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not
dumb.
even that. It's not even that.
But-
It's just the promotion. Honestly, if you promote yourself decently, you can sell eggs.
I mean,
everyone's a
yeah,
market-
but
everyone's a
there's a lot of
marketing
people
major.
selling eggs.
Everyone's
You have to,
a marketer.
So if you're going to do creatives, you have to dabble in business as well. You have to monetize your
That's a great-
creativity.
That's
Which is
a great
why
thought.
you potentially still go to school.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
everyone needs. That's why I
potentially,
took
for sure.
business and
mean,
videography.
you can
Business and
manage it, sure.
marketing. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Um,
if you can manage it, sure.
I forgot.
What was your biggest risk? Did you say what your biggest risk was?
Going to art school.
Okay, so going to art
That's
school.
why I kind
Then it
of.
didn't.
Your biggest risk
pay
was
off.
dropping out of school?
Nah, there was no risk there because, like I said, I was literally taking videography and business class. Like there was very low risk.
Mind
but
you, he was getting business and
I was
doing
getting
videography.
too. Yeah, it was to finalize. I guess that whole thought process is I don't like we look at a resume. I don't like seeing. Well, I guess it's different, but I'll see 5 years of school and school and school and school.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you hire that person, they have no hands-on experience. Whereas my resume is
Experience.
10 years of no school, but like 10 years of you were actually in LA doing this. You went out and learned it. So it was the harder route, but like that's the difference, I guess. But yeah, I'd say the
See, but they would hire you before they hired the kids in school because you have the experience. They always want experience.
But
Well,
I-
yes and no. So that, and then I got to speak to that part too.
I think
Yes
it's
and
iffy.
no.
It's iffy.
I guess.
As somebody
I guess
that
the
has,
department.
as somebody that has been an internet person and then gone to like put a resume in somewhere and
corporate-
ask for something,
yeah.
like
What is
you
this
will.
15-year employment gap?
It's but that's the thing, right? Because if you've been a real content person that's been doing content for 15 years, you don't have an employment gap.
Nope.
It says on there what it is,
But
but
they
it
look at
also
that
then they
as a-
look at that
yeah.
and they'll ask me straight up like, why are you here?
Bro, I tried getting a
Straight up, like,
yeah.
how do you answer that question to a potential employer? Like, why do I want to be?
Tom's
I don't
is
know,
rough.
maybe the
you're
job.
failing? You're failing?
Tom's is rough.
Like maybe money, the job.
Yeah.
Like that's why I would like to be here. The job. Like
I
you know.
tried going to the bank, to
But
get
they
an
don't want
auto,
that.
Our
Like,
percentages are down right now.
People see me come and they expect me to see what they do and then go run a business doing it or do my own thing, or they're scared of people like me being in regular positions. You know, like they don't think you can actually do this kind of thing and then just like go clock in somewhere and then like go about your
Well,
day.
it's probably because they don't think
It's
you're
like
gonna
it's.
leave.
Well,
If you join them, pick up
that's what
again.
you have to realize as well. That if you get into this and you have to do something else, you know, these are things that you could potentially, you know, so worry about what it is that you do as well for content, because you might have to do something else at some point. And you know, don't be on OnlyFans or don't be on whatever and be having to go get, you know what I'm saying? Like this stuff lives forever. So make sure it's something that you want to be known for, or what, you know.
I mean, I remember walking to the bank
Or
to try and get
OnlyFans.
an auto loan, and I'm like, I don't exactly think that wash diviner is a job position. How do I explain
And that's the other
5
risk
years
too.
of employment
That's the other
history?
risk.
You show
You know
them your
how
pay
hard
stub.
it was for me to get a car loan.
I'm still,
And I was doing millions of views on you. How
yeah.
hard, because I didn't know
Can I
how to like
leverage
do
That's
my
it
because they
properly.
didn't know the market
Yeah,
like that.
can I
either.
leverage my YouTube
If you don't,
views
it
as
doesn't matter what you got going on. Yeah, you got to know what you're doing
Yeah.
You gotta show
correctly.
them
You got to
money.
know how to
Yeah.
keep your money right
So,
correctly. You got to know how to get your paperwork right correctly,
Traditional
or
markets,
yeah, you're gonna have
traditional
problems.
Corporate positions, finances, like it's all we had just kind of figured out.
True that.
You got to do that, or you got to get somebody that can figure it out for you. You got to get you a nice Mimi over there.
Get a wife.
Got to get you one of
Yeah,
these
kids.
that'll do
One
it
of
for
them.
you.
I'm
and
still
And,
waiting on mine.
tell you what
Get
you're
you
supposed to be
one of-
doing when you're not doing it.
I'm looking.
And yeah, but biggest risk, it's kind of cliche because we chatted about it in the first episode. Probably going to LA. Like I saved up $3,500. Oh no, I got it. Yeah, it's going to LA, but I didn't talk about this. I to fill you in. I'm gonna fill you in real quick. My motivational speech. I'm very good at one-liners. It's not true. And I booked my flight before I had a place to stay. Was what I kept saying.
Okay.
Just so I would lock it in.
Yeah.
Now to further that train of thought, when I had a place to stay, I only had enough money for 1 month of rent, and I was moving to LA. I had $3,500 to my name.
That is like 1 month in LA.
And that's 1 month of my that is, and I'm not even kidding, my Airbnb was $3,500 a month.
No, real talk. That's the reason why I never moved to LA, because I was just petrified of if anything goes wrong, what am I gonna do?
I had $3,500 to my name. My Airbnb
Like
was $3,500.
I personally can't be I can't be worried about where I'm gonna sleep at. I can't be worried about living in a car or like I can't take all this shit that I do with me and then be out on the street somewhere. Like it's impossible. You can't be that kind of person.
Like one of them street painters.
Like not everybody can live that life, right? So like it was one of those things that it was just unless somebody was footing that bill for me, if I knew this company's gonna pay me to move out here and live here, then it was never gonna happen, right? So I had a couple of times that I got offered, but it just never occurred, right?
It definitely wasn't a luxurious lifestyle. But I booked it for 3 months.
I couldn't do that. I couldn't do what you did.
All right, 3 months. That's good. That's a quarter. Fiscal quarter for you to figure it out.
I had $3,500 in my name. I booked it for 3 months. As in, I didn't
just long enough to get a job.
2 months of rent already.
Oh.
And I packed a bag and I moved out.
Oh man.
Now
he booked it for 3 months and only paid for one, or had enough for one.
It worked out. It did because I wound up finding a manager, moving in with him after the first month, made friends, made content. Like the whole LA thing took off. Like that all. It worked out great. But there's a very high chance that, like I hope Airbnb, if you're watching, I apologize, but I had to explain my way out of it because I booked it for 3 months and didn't have the money. So I was like using I'm going to talk about it. I was using.
Yeah, you can get Airbnb now.
We can cut this out later if need be.
$7,000 for those next 2 months, and I was like, I found another spot to stay with a manager. When I'm signing me, he offered me, like, took me under his wings, and I was like, how do I get out of this 3-month investment into LA? So like I was looking for things like. I
broke my leg
the outlets don't have covers on them, and
my child touched it.
Yo, that actually worked.
Yes. Like I was back and forth with I felt bad. Like the person who had rented me the Airbnb, she'd probably never rented to an 18-year-old kid, douchebag kid like myself again. Like I was like, the covers, the outlets are exposed, and I don't feel safe living here. And I got
he picked that piece apart. It was like
the Wi-Fi doesn't. And I got out of the Airbnb, but just to solidify it, I deleted my account, canceled my card, everything, and I never heard back. And so Airbnb, if you're watching this, I owe you $7,000, and I apologize. But it worked out in the end, so hey, look at that. A success story.
Sorry, whoever's place that was.
And then I was in LA for 2 years, so there you go. It worked.
So $3,500. To wrap it up, obviously you got to take a lot of risks to be a creative. You got to take a lot of.
Airbnb.
You got to take chances. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be the only person you have to finagle every now and then. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be some times you got to do what you got to do, but if you love it, if you really want to do it, then you'll want to do that, and you won't think about it twice.
Please like and subscribe.